We're in Morocco, about 150 kilometres south of Agadir, at Alous land. And I've got the farm manager here, Atou Yons, and the technician Zaim Rashid here. And behind me are some Nadakot trees on Volcomeriana. These trees are quite vigorous, and they actually let some of the water shoots grow up and crop. But there comes the problem, is it is very high up in the tree. And what they have here is a hook that they hook onto the limbs and they bring it down. And that's how they bring the shoots down so they can then harvest the fruit. Pruning is done straight after harvest. They give the workmen a saw and secateurs, and they take about 5 minutes per tree each season. We're in the middle of the Volk tree now, and there's quite a lot of water shoots in here, but they're not going to prune out too many of these water shoots. In fact, they're just going to bend them over. This one's already been bent over here, and this one's a rather strong one, but it's in fact growing on a very old limb that we can see. And they showed me that this one is going too far up the centre, and they sort of want to try and V the tree to get the tree clean on the inside. So this whole limb here is going to go, and this is going to remove some of the centre limbs. But we look at these water shoots here that are going straight up, and what they're going to do is try and bend them over. One way of bending over these upright water shoots is just to take them down and push them underneath another limb. There's many water shoots in this tree, and we already discussed how we'd remove this centre limb here, but as you move to the side here, they want to get to the V. So if we have a look here, this is a nice sappy water shoot. That one can be bent over. This one around here is just a little bit too big, so that one's going to be removed because they want the V inside the tree. But these other water shoots here, they are going to get pulled over and pulled down, and then it's going to get tied by string, which we'll have a demonstration. See, there's some string tied to this rock, and they've now bent over this limb here and just tying the string to the limb. Eventually, as they bend over limbs, there'll be layering of limbs on top of each other, and they will take out these lower limbs to allow the more surface ones then to take over. We're at the trees with Macrophylla rootstock. The trees are a lot less vigorous. They have a lot wider opening of the tree, and of course are easier to manage. These trees will require less pruning than the Volcomeriana trees. They also use wooden stakes to prop up some of the limbs to prevent limb breakages. Those trees are on Volcomeriana rootstock, and these trees here are the same age are C35, and they are still quite vigorous, but just slightly smaller than the Volcomeriana. Many of the limbs we can see here are prompted up by these sticks, and as you saw before, they have this intensive layering pruning of water shoots they can spend a significant amount of time on. And part of the reason is that the labour here costs about $1 Australian per hour. These are the trees on Macrophylla rootstock, and you can see they're a lot shorter than the Volcomeriana, a lot wider also. And right beside us is the Bigaradi rootstock, which is very similar to a sour orange, and again, quite another vigorous rootstock and quite tall trees.
So we're in a 2-year-old orchard here in Morocco, pruning it similarly with the water shoot layering method that they were using in the younger orchard. And what we're seeing now with these 2-year-old trees, which were also, these are also on 1 metre narrower spacing, so a 6 metre by 2 metre tree spacing. We're finding that these water shoots, are layering over, and it's just bringing this growth out into the row here. It's blocking up sunlight interception, and we can see there's a little bit of fruit here, but there's a lot of tree with no fruit now. Because we've got old wood, we've got a lack of sunlight, and the places we're finding that we're getting fruit is up on the water shoots now, up high, hard to pick, hard for the trees to get nutrients there. It'll be more marked, but it's where the sunlight is. So it's just a great indication that sunlight is key. And these now, if I compare it back to my orchard at home, is a very similar issue to what I've got at home. So in this orchard, they have realised that the pruning method is not really doing the job, and these trees are losing yield. The production's reducing, so they have tried to remove every second tree to just create some more space in between the trees. And from what we've seen, it's really struggled to work. It's just filled straight back up here in between the trees, and it hasn't at all addressed the incursion into the row. So light penetration is still an issue even doing that.